Once again, we have another product no one asked for it. Yet, here we are. But now, I can see what happens when AI tech made for public facing suffers when it tries to sell to the masses. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about AI pin, guys. Let's dive into it because today we're gonna do another PR review. So, what is AI pin? If you're not sleeping under a rock, last week AI pin reviews started to go public, and the reactions to it is amazing. And to resume all of that, I'm gonna show a just a small piece of Marquis Brownie last review of AI pin.
Look and tell me what this is. Or I'll just do this, I guess. Ah. It's a Cybertruck.
The photo is of a Cybertruck, an electric pickup truck produced by Tesla.
So this summarizes the performance of AI devices nowadays. And this is not just human problem, it's all AI device problems, all right? So the problem with these AI hardware is that they don't want to be a phone. Because to be a piece of hardware on this size here and doesn't have the features that the phone have, and trying to compensate for an AI OS shouldn't compensate, you have to either build an OS from scratch, which would require a few more years to develop, or use current OS like Apple or Android, which wouldn't justify you to pay for something that's just a feature. Because at the end of the day, these guys are just features because they're just extracting what is Siri or these Google Assistants into a device, and they even less performant. And when you see, for example, Google Assistant or Siri, when you talk to them, interact with them, they have the same problem. They have this delay to perform some tasks as well. Even when I wanted my Siri to actually play a music on the car, they have some sort of delay to actually understand what I was trying to do. And taking that and giving this feature as the OS of the device or the core system of a device, it's kind of very weird for me. But then let's continue with it. The best option for them to differentiate themselves from Apple of Android is to create a small hardware where you can make loads of interaction with it, and then you're gonna be diversifying yourself on the market. But this comes with the trade-offs. So the first trade-off is the lack of computing power. So these small devices doesn't have the same computing power of a phone. That's obvious. And when you don't have the same computing power and storage, you have to rely on a different type of architecture decisions. And the architecture decisions that they're gonna be doing now at the moment is to rely on the internet to provide the models. This architect decision, is where it comes to start the friction with the public, because to be able to perform the tasks with AI, you need layers of model. And let's think of the architecture here, all right? So you need to interact with the user, and you have to understand what's the intent of the user, and you have to redirect the tasks of the intent to the right model. And I explain now, because you're gonna need, to differentiate what is a computer vision model, what is a task for a computer vision model, and a task for a LLM model, because they're not trained with the same type of data and they don't perform the same type of tasks. And LLM doesn't have the ability to read a image, and a computer vision doesn't have the ability to describe to tell you what's the weather right now. And this is this defining intent. So you define the intent, you have to inference the model. So you're doing two layers of inference here. The first inference is to understand what is the task. The second inference is the task itself. And you're adding at least two layers of heavy lifting computing models, which requires expensive timing and computing. And all of this under the latency of sending and receiving data throughout the internet. You don't have most of the tasks of AI being on the device itself, and this is worrying. And I tell you why it's worrying later. And it's not because as well I develop open source that actually have an AI embedded into the software. as I said before, using natural language as your interface with computers is actually not very performant, and it's way better for you to actually know what is the task to be done instead of asking a model to have these layers between you and the computer itself to perform those tasks. And so what I wanted to see nowadays is solutions that require less and less user third-party APIs, so we can stop buying products that doesn't benefit us at all. Because, and I explain here, at the end of the day, they're trying to sell you a server marketed as a device. And that's the same problem that's happening nowadays with games. So they're selling games to you, and they say you can buy all the skins, all the stuff, and then after 3 or 4 years, they decide to shut down that game. And that's the same problem here with these AI devices, where they trying to sell you a product. They say, oh, there is this device here that does all the stuff for you. But at the end of the day, they're selling you a service, because not almost anything inside that device actually is performed into the device. And you have to pay for the service. And that's the word to me. That's what was worried to me when people is trying to sell OS as a service, and nothing it's gonna be owned by the device that you pay for, and you pay expensive amount of money for that device. So I do not see the value of anyone recommending these to anybody else. I believe it's a great piece of architecture. It's a nice device. But at the moment, I don't feel like we should be praising or we should be seeking this type of business model where it's not going to benefit the user at the end of the day. It's only going to benefit the companies, and it's going to be with a lot of problems and a lot of errors. And this should be pushed back by everyone who actually into tech, everyone who is into programming, and everyone who wants to see more and more people owning the products itself. And that's what I have for today, guys. So if you like what I'm doing, please leave a like, comment down below. And as always, see you next Friday. Have videos every 2 times a week, Tuesday and Fridays. And this is your PR review.